Ayy, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a drink, next to the team, yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring, finna be immortalized. Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile of here.
Hey, how you doing, folks? Chris Harris here. Another episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. It's our live Week 2 preview show. We'll be running down some of our local games coming up this Friday, and we got some games coming on Thursday as well. So appreciate everyone joining us this evening. A couple of my guys, Anthony's running late, so he'll hop on whenever he can. And unfortunately, AB down there at Marlboro County. He won't be joining us again this week, but I just continue to ask you guys to, just keep him in your prayers, man. He's been going through some things, but yeah, another week down. Some great games to talk about. See, we'll go ahead and get started real quick, man. I gotta say, man, let me apologize for Saturday. For those who don't know me, man, I'm like I said, I'll do that early morning recap show Saturday morning, and I worked third shift, and man, I got off at 6 o'clock that morning and hopped back on here at 9 o'clock, and it wasn't my best show, man, and I gotta apologize for that. I know I promised to give you guys probably the best content that I could give you, and I was a little off my game Saturday morning, man. I was tired, so I may think about moving that recap show back to maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. I didn't really want it to interfere with I know we got college football about to start. I ain't wanted to get in the way of college football, but yeah, 9 o'clock is a little bit too rough, especially getting off at 6. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do that better. But also, man, let me give a shout out to big time shout out to the Union Spartan football program. Man, picked up a big win Monday night, 38-0 over Spring Creek. Great way to start the season. Great to see that program get the W. And like I said, I couldn't think of a more deserving group of coaches and players and the fans that continue to show up and support those kids through all the. I know it's tough to go through all the losses and stuff, but yeah, you're going to start seeing that work ethic and what they've been doing out there really start to pay dividends these next couple years. So shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to I know he's out west now, but let me give a shout out to Ethan Royal. Man, he's playing for Huff now out there in Charlotte, but everyone knows he's from Clinton, North Carolina. Extremely talented kid. Like I said, I remember watching him play rec ball at Royal Lane. Was really looking forward to him being a dark horse. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards, but it's all good. Like I said, I still support him. Great kid, great family. Showed out this past week. Huff played in that Keep Pounding Classic up at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, and he was the MVP of the game. So, man, shout out to him. I'm glad to finally see him, get those opportunities on the field, and he's gonna continue shining. So, big shout out to him and his family. I keep on forgetting, man. I got to shout my homeboy, really good friend of my old teammate, Nicholas Cooper. Y'all Clinton fans remember him, big time running back for us back in the day. He's coaching up at East Rutherford, out west, running back coach out there, his first season. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I keep on forgetting to mention it on the show. But man, shout out to him, and I couldn't think of nobody better to be out there coaching up, those running backs out there than him, man. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of insights, and I know he's going to do great things for that program out there. As always, man, like we always do, man, feel free to comment any questions, any observations, anything we're talking about, your insights, shout out your school, shout out your player. We love that's one of the things we like to do is engage with our listeners. So that's why we do the live shows. Real quick, man, let me going to the chat room. Shout out Coach Brandon Manor. Like I said, just talk about those Union Spars. He coaches up the defense, and like I said, that defense pitched a shutout Monday night. So great job by him and those kids, man. Continue to, like I said, they're gonna continue to do great things out there. They're open this week, unfortunately, but we'll definitely be checking them out next week. Same thing for the Instagram, man. Y'all ain't got any comments over there? Any questions? Please feel free to comment. I said, my guys, like I said, Anthony, he'll probably hop on a little bit later. He's doing stuff for he does a lot of stuff for the Independent, so. And all this is voluntary, man. Volunteer stuff, man. Like I said, I appreciate the time that these guys give, and if they got to run, if they're running a little bit late, no worries, man. The show's gonna go on. Real quick, man, I'm pulling up. This is our list of our featured games for this week. For any of my listeners, man, any of those games stand out to y'all, let me know. Like I said, our Buck Sweet Sports games of the week. That big time rivalry, voted the biggest rivalry in the state of North Carolina. Scotland County versus Richmond County. That's going down this week. A little earlier than normal, but of course with the new realignment and changes and stuff like that, they're different conferences, different classifications. So that game is now a non-conference game and played early, but still the meaning is still the same. It's still one of the biggest rivalries in the state. Definitely looking forward to covering that this week. Our other game of the week is going to be Red Springs and Pender, two teams coming off good wins last week. A little different. Look, and one thing I'm gonna tell, I know everybody had their suggestions for game of the week. One thing I'm gonna tell y'all is I want to try to spread the love, man. I want to keep the same team, featuring the same teams week after week after week after week. So I understand there may be probably some more, notable matchups on the board, but I know a lot of people were talking about the Wallace-Kinston game. But, we featured Wallace last week when they played East Duplin. So, like I said, I just want to try to, mix it up and keep, spread the love a little bit for everybody. But just looking at this list, man, a lot of great games going on this week, a lot of rivalry games. Like KM Vision just said in the chat, man, Hoggard versus Jack Britt, that's going to be a good one, a really good one. But just running down this list, other East Bladen versus West Bladen, the battle for the bell, that's going to be a good one. Clinton versus Midway. That rivalry has grown tremendously over since they started playing. That's going to be a good one. Trash versus East Columbus. Talked about Red Springs, Pender. Hopton versus Triton. North Duplin, Rosewood. Lakewood, Lejeune. Wallace-Kinston, which I know a lot of y'all are going to be really interested in. 71st coming off of that tough loss. They'll be taking on Cape Fear, and that's going to be a good one. St. Paul's, Lumberton, Robeson County battle going down there. Vance County versus South Granville. Down south, man. Unfortunately, like I said, man, AB couldn't be with us tonight, and was hoping to hear a little bit more about the Marlboro County Sherrall rivalry. But I could talk on it a little bit. I caught a couple strays from a Sherrall fan last year. I know that's a big time rivalry down there in South Carolina. Of course, Webb and Warren County, that big time rivalry game. If you guys watch the Grit and Grind podcast, they're playing for a couple of rivalry game trophies this week. That's going to be a good one. This is the one that I really got that I really this was a big time nominee for my BuzzFeed Sports Game of the Week. But Southeast Raleigh versus Dudley, I think that's going to be a big time game. Northeastern versus DH Conley, Whiteville versus West Brunswick, CB Cop versus Eastern Wayne, and of course East Duplin taking on Pender. But yeah, like you said, just a great slate of games. A lot of fun ones. It's going to be once again, man, it's going to be another fun Friday night. Some of these games also, let me remind y'all, some of these games will be happening Thursday. I think the Hopton Triton game's Thursday. North Duplin versus Rosewoods Thursday. And I have to check my list to see if any other ones. And I'm not exactly sure the reason, maybe because the holiday weekend, Labor Day or whatever, but a couple of games are being played on Thursday. So which means we got a couple of JV games going on right now. And if anybody has any updates on those, please feel free to comment. But yeah, going to the chat, K and Vision said that Clinton versus Clinton. That Clinton one's gonna be a good one too. Yeah, that's always that's a fun matchup, man. That like I said, that rivalry has really grown a lot since they started playing. Like for those who don't know, Clinton Midway, they didn't start playing regular season games until I want to say it was the 2013 season. And of course, Clinton's pretty much dominated that matchup. Midway getting their first victory over Clinton last season, but that's always been a really fun and a really heated rivalry. Going into that week, you'll hear a lot of talk from the not just from the fans, but a lot of talk from the students and the players and stuff. So that's an underrated rivalry in my opinion, but one that's continually been steadily growing since they've been playing each other. But see, that's Anthony. That's Anthony Barry right there. He said it's gonna be a big time game, man. Marlboro's 15-2 in the last 17 years, and he's got Marlboro winning big over Sherrall, 67-7. Wow, that's oh man. You talk about that's a big margin of victory, but hey, AB he's a diehard man. So now what I was saying about catching some strays from Sherrall fans last year, like I said, I started covering Marlboro County, and I believe I was. This is how you know the rivalry. The rivalry is deep. I posted uh, a post about a Marlboro County kid getting an offer, and normally I don't care who you root for. You see a kid getting a college offer, that's not the type of post you start an argument under. But yeah, this guy, he did, and it got to the point where man, I even had to block the guy because I was like, that's crazy, man. Like I said, we all got our rivalry, our rivals and stuff. But man, if I see I'm a Clinton fan. If I see a Wallace kid getting an offer, that I ain't gonna go up under the post and start talking trash. Like that's crazy. But yeah, that just goes to show how heated that could get. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's and K and Vision. I kind of saw the same thing. They look pretty good. From what I saw last week. So I think it could be a pretty competitive game. But I know AB he's a diehard man, so he's riding hard for his Bulldogs. So I ain't mad at him, but I think it'll be a pretty good game. Um, yeah, like I said, y'all feel free to chat. Like I said, we like to go back and forth and talk real quick. Go over to Instagram. Paige Becker's fan says Midway over Clinton. Hey, hey, I mean, they said they got their first taste of victory last season, and we're gonna discuss it. But that's gonna be like I said, I feel like that's gonna be a really good game. Let's see, Dante Kimi said, "Let's go Marlboro, yes sir." I said, look, like I said, I think that's gonna be a really good matchup, man. Marlboro's got a good team. I think Sherrall's a lot of. I think they're pretty. I think they're improved since last year. They look pretty good, so I think it's gonna be a competitive early season matchup. Yeah. Anthony Berry said bold prediction. We just talented this year. Marlboro County defensive line is legit. The quarterback for Sherrall is going to have a long night. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with those bold predictions, Anthony. Man, just be ready to answer for them Saturday morning if things don't go your way, man. Real quick, like I said, man, y'all feel free to comment or any shout out your players, man. If you're a parent listening or family member, shout out your players. Bryant Morris and Richmond Scholar Answer gonna be crazy. Yes, sir. That is and I'll talk more about it when I get to that game specifically. But man, that's I always heard that atmosphere is crazy. That's definitely a bucket list a bucket list game for me when I get back home. That's one of the ones I definitely want to check out one day because I always heard that yeah, it's a reason why it's voted to the most competitive, the best rivalry in the whole state of North Carolina. And I know some people attest to that, but I mean, uh, like I said, man, I've been on NC preps sometimes and just kind of read the forums when those fans are going back and forth, And man, you want to talk about heated? So I can only imagine, what that atmosphere is like. Definitely would like to check that out one day. Let me see. Pageback said, "I think Union got a chance for real." Yeah, I think Union's gonna put up a couple W's this year, man. Like I said, if you look at their schedule, you'll see several games where it was. We always say that 50-50 chance, whether you win or lose, you gotta and a lot of those games that they lost last season, I feel like they're gonna win this year. And one of those games was Spring Creek, and you saw how that one turned out. So they're gonna put up a couple dubs this year. Do I feel like they're gonna win the compete for conference or anything like that? No, not yet. I mean, like I said, you still got some really good teams. Like you still got you still got East Bladen, you still got Lakewood, you still got North Duplin in that conference. But over the next, especially going into next year, watch out for Union, man. They're definitely gonna start making some serious noise. No, you didn't miss 19 CHS. You didn't miss the 71st K Fair yet. Where we haven't talked about it yet. Oh, but he said 71st going on too. I'm thinking last week had to be a wake up call for him, man. I think they're going to see a much more focused team. I think maybe last week they probably drinking the Kool Aid, a little bit complacent, which happens with really good teams sometimes. And I think that coaching staff probably really worked them hard this week, and I think you're going to see a much more focused team this Friday night. But K Fair's a tough one, man. That's gonna be a good game, I believe. Pedro says Triton. Now Triton's not playing Lakewood. Triton's playing Hopton. But he said, would it be a good match? Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty solid game if they were to schedule each other in like a non-conference play. But I think the Sampson County team that wants to play Triton the most is, from what I read in the comments earlier, was Midway. Midway wondering why Triton won't put them on the schedule. So that goes back and forth from their rivalry going. They had a little pretty heated contest in the jamboree there. Let me see. Go back into the Facebook real quick. Dwayne Davis is shouting out Sean East Duplin's number 39, outstanding running back Sean Davis. Yeah, he said, "Hey, well, look, Dwayne, y'all gonna get the dark horses, man. We're back in the same conference again, so I think that game is going down in October, I believe. But that's always been a big time rivalry, and I'm happy that we're back in the same conference again, man. We've had some classic matchups before. October 17th. At Clinton, that's when that one's going down. That's gonna be a good game, man. But yeah, shout out to you, man, Sean Davis, outstanding running back, and DJ. I mean, he's definitely yeah. I definitely saw did a little spotlight on him over the summer, man. You can definitely see he's gonna be another talented kid. So y'all got some good genes out there, man, in Beulaville, man. Back to Instagram page Becker's Midway. I root for. You say he's rooting for Midway. He wants Midway. I guess you're rooting for Hopton to beat Triton because Hopton's playing Triton this week, and he's rooting for Midway to beat Clinton. Score prediction meant for Midway Clinton. Carson 2. Give me a minute, man. When I start talking about that game, I'll give my score prediction. But appreciate all the comments. Like I said, man, feel free to comment. Like I said, this is why we do the stuff live, so we can engage with for the listeners. But any more comments, man? I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about my first game. Let me see. I still ain't hear nothing from Coach Goodman, so like I said, he'll hop on whenever he can. But first game we're gonna talk about. We got East Bladen taking on West Bladen, the Battle of the Bell rivalry game. Big time matchup in Bladen County. Where my Bladen County people at, man? Y'all said y'all was gonna be up here this week. Y'all been real quiet since basketball and baseball season. So I want to hear what y'all got to say about this one. Of course, East Bladen's coming off a win over Trash last week, 18-6. Basically, what I've seen out of East Bladen, man, so far this season, man, just the normal East Bladen team, strong running game, bend don't break defense. Deshaun Campbell, uh, big time running back out there, doing his thing. Had a big time game. I know East has pretty much dominated this contest, but it doesn't take away from the significance of the rivalry, man. Like I said, they got a lot to play for out there. West showed a lot of heart last week playing against I don't know who they lost to last week. Lost to Pender last week, but at one point in time, I want to say I know they lost like 34-12, but at one point in time it was 14-12, and from what I was reading, they were in the game. So just gotta clean. Like I said, they're a program that's pretty much struggled for a while now, and they'll have a player or two that really catches your eye, like the kid last year, Hezekiah Blanks Adams. But just they got the athletes, man. They're just trying to, I think the coach is going into his second or third year. Just trying to. He's got the numbers up, which is good. But yeah, they still got some things to clean up, and they'll hopefully eventually they'll get there, man. But y'all West Bladen fans, man, show the same type of support and love y'all show for the basketball team and the baseball team, man. Because like I said, make sure y'all packing the stands for those kids, because the support definitely means a lot. But as far as this game goes, man, I'll with East Bladen. I feel like East Bladen definitely the better team. But I still think, like I said, man, rivalry game should be a lot of energy in the stadium. And West, man, if anytime you're playing against a team that's better than you and everyone's picking them to win, man, you got to that underdog mentality and try to force some mistakes and capitalize on that. And if y'all could make it a game going into the third or fourth quarter, then you always have a chance. But as far as the game goes, I believe East Bladen's got this one. But any comments on that one real quick? I say we got a little trash talk going, I guess, between Midway and Clinton people over there on Instagram. So I'll leave that one alone. But any comments on East Bladen versus West Bladen? I know KM Vision said East Bladen got that one ease. Yeah, like I said, East Bladen is definitely the more talented team. But there's a path to victory if you're West Bladen, man. You just gotta keep that underdog mentality and come out there and try to make hopefully catch East Bladen slipping, man. Hopefully they a little bit too complacent that night, and like I said, make it a game going into the fourth quarter. Who knows? But moving on. Next game we'll talk about East Duplin versus Princeton. Both teams coming off wins. Um, East Duplin was voted had one of the best performances. Voted by NC Preps as one of the I guess the teams of the week for last week with that shutout of Wallace Rose Hill. Um, Big time game from right there on the picture. There you see Branson Norris. Branson Norris had a great game throwing the ball. Aaron Hall, Keyshawn McKinney, big time plays. And of course, got to shout out to the entire East Duplin defense, man. Shutting Wallace out. First time in 17 years, 226 games that Wallace Rose Hill has been shut out. But for this one, man, I would say if you're a betting person, bet the under for a number of passes thrown because East Duplin's going to throw the ball a little bit, but Princeton in that single wing as I guess as simple as it look, it could be very I guess it could be really annoying. I mean, they'll 5 yard you to death and shoot five. You get a couple 5 yards, 5 yard gains. That's going to be a first down. They'll just march down the field on you. They have a really outstanding sophomore athlete, McFadder. Kid had to put up an insane number of yards last season. He's a good one. Great on the basketball court as well. So, like I said, they're like that offense is as simple as it looks, man. It gets it done. The issue with Princeton, I always found out or see in my observations is just on the defensive side, man, making stops. Even last week, they put up 40 points, but you gave up 35 to Aiden Griffin. So they'll move the ball, they'll score some points, but will they be able to stop East Duplin? That's the question. Um, Fortunately, if I had to make a pick on this one right now, like I said, I'm picking East Duplin. Like I said, I feel like East Duplin's going to be one. East Duplin's one of the best teams in the state right now. I feel like they'll make a deep run in the playoffs. They got a strong offense. So, like DJ Dwayne Davis was, calling out earlier. I think I'm expecting a big performance out of Sean, big performance out of DJ, Aaron Hall, all those. Oh, hold up, stop. We got a timeout, timeout. We got a special guest up here. He finally made it through. Oh, he finally made it through. Hold up, we got Magic up here. Magic, can you hear me? Hey, Magic, can you hear me? Come on, man. I got your video up. Hey, man, can you hear me? Oh, come on, dog. hey, look, hey, look. If y'all don't know the backstory, we've been trying to get Magic up here for like weeks now, and him and Restream don't get along too good. Hold on, real quick. Hey, bro, you must be in the car because your service must not be that good, man. We gonna keep on trying. We gonna keep on trying them. Magic. Oh, come on, man. We'll keep on trying them. But real quick, to the comments. Canvas Aiden Griffin's good. They made a deep run the playoffs last year and very good this year. Yeah, that's true. But like I said, man, Princeton, like even going, back other years, Princeton seemed like they never had an issue scoring. It's always been the defensive side of the ball. Even thinking back to that Eastern champ, I think it was like I want to say it was the Eastern Championship game against Wallace Rose Hill that one year. I mean, they were scoring. I think they had a running back. I can't remember his. I want to say his name was Christian. Man, broke all types of records as far as rushing goes, and like I said, they when it came to those big games, it was always defense that kind of let them down. And when it comes to this matchup right here, I feel like it's going to be the same quarter. I feel like Princeton because they'll put up some points on East Duplin, but yeah, I just feel like they won't be able to when it comes down to getting stops. I think that's where they're going to fall short. But we'll keep on. We'll keep on. We'll keep on trying. We'll keep on trying. Magic hopefully can get up here. But see, I'm looking on Instagram. I guess we're still going back and forth with, with some Clean East Dupe, Clean Midway people. Canvas Eddie Griffin's one of the top 318s. Yeah, they'll be one of the top. They'll be one of the top ones. Logan Dodson, let's go Midway, yes sir. That should be a good. That's gonna be a good game, man. We're gonna get to that in a little while. But like I said, as far as this game goes, man, I'm rolling with the East Duplin Panthers, especially at home. Like I said, but I feel like it'll be a good game. It's gonna be one of those grinded out, um, one in the trenches type of games, man. Through like I said, bet the under when you're with the number of unless it's East Duplin, I doubt it'll be more than 10 passes thrown in this game. But Yeah, it's definitely gonna be 3 yards and a cloud of dust type of a football game this Friday when East Duplin host Princeton. My next game, and yeah, I guess Instagram's really about to heat up now because we're gonna talk about this Clinton versus Midway matchup. They see, and I'm going. They still, I guess they kind of calmed it down a little bit over there. Um, Once again, big time matchup in Sampson County, man. Clinton versus Midway. A lot of, uh, like I said, a lot of. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of history, but like I said, this has been a really growing rivalry over the last decade or so amongst the younger generation. You know, us older guys, it was always East Duplin, Wallace Rose Hill, East Bladen, and pretty much like maybe James Keenan as our big time rivals. Um, but yeah, this new since they started playing in 2013, I've like I said I've noticed it. Just amongst the kids. This Clinton Midway, thing has gotten a whole lot bigger, whole lot bigger. So definitely looking forward. This is the home opener for Clinton. Went on the road last week, had a tough, gritty win over in Sandberg against Lakewood. Um, if you think about it, man, both teams, were kind of talked about after their performances in the Jamboree. I know a lot. We spent a lot of time discussing Midway's run defense, particularly after their game against Triton. And what all they did last week is go up there, to New Grove and shut Hopton down 35-0 in that game. Of course, a lot of talk about Clinton after their performance against James Keenan and came out last Friday night. And like I said, it wasn't the prettiest game, um, but definitely stepped up and got it done and quieted a lot of folks, including myself. But like I said, it wasn't pretty. But hey, look, what the old coaches used to say, man. I'd rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss. So they got it done. They're 1-0, and of course the big news is them getting their starting quarterback back this week. So that's going to be a big storyline leading up to this game. Saw a little bit of what he could do in that game against the scrimmage against Grays Creek. He you see a lot. You see his name mentioned with a lot of these sports. Player ranking services like Carolina Recruits and stuff. He been mentioned as one of the top quarterbacks in the area. So definitely a talented kid. Definitely a kid that's going to make a difference. You'll see Clinton get out of that. Clinton won't play in a phone booth like they kind of had to do last week. Is doing a lot of gimmick stuff, wildcat stuff like that. So they'll be in their I guess base offense this week, and you'll see them get a chance to open things up a little bit more. Um, let me go to the comments real quick. Of course, Logan Dawson said, "Let's go Midway." He's a Midway fan. Twan Lee said Midway for the upset. I wouldn't really call it an upset, Twan, because you got to think about this, man. Last year, Midway won this game, so you got to be thinking about a little revenge factor for the dark horses. You see, I feel like Midway will expose some kinks Lakewood couldn't. Um, like I said, the biggest issues I saw as far as that game, as far as Clinton would go last week, well, you can't. You want to clean up some things on the offensive line, of course. Some penalties that wiped out some big plays. Like I said, you're not going to see that same type of offense this week, though, because like I said, they didn't have a quarterback. They were down to their third string kid, and I believe he got he didn't play most of the second half because I think he was a concussion protocol. So they really had to do a lot of wildcat stuff. Just put in Gavin Miller or Jonah Boone and wildcat and just doing what they could do. So you're gonna see a different type of offense this week with the quarterback back. But I guess I would say the biggest, like I said, I saw a very strong performance on the defensive front. I guess if you were to want to try to exploit anything, it would be, in the secondary. They did have some blown coverage on a long touchdown pass. But for the most part, man, overall, if you look at the other two phases of the game, pretty solid as far as Clinton was concerned. Um, I did get a chance to watch a little bit of the Midway Hopton game, and unfortunately for Hopton, they lost a kid right there at the start, really a big contributor to their team. But like I said, Midway is going to be explosive on offense. I saw that in the Jamboree, and I saw that against in their game against Hopton. They got, like I said, they Tanner Williams looks like a kid that's really matured over the off season. Looks a lot more comfortable and confident in that offense. Um, I can't get the wide receiver. I got to get the wide receiver's name. I want to say he's number 9, man. Tremendous speed in the open field. They run this little RPO like slant, and when Tanner hits him right on the numbers, he's gone, man. So that's one thing I'm pretty sure Clinton coaches have probably discussed with their team on film, looking at the film and stuff like that. Of course, you got some tremendous size on both sides of the line for Midway. Uh, uh, G Blue, outstanding running back. Nate True, Miles, probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest kid in the county, man. Tremendous track speed athlete, man. You get him in the open field. Uh, that's a problem. That's a problem waiting to happen. And of course, the sophomore standout that's coming up, Wesley too. But let me just shout out Midway's defense, because Midway, like I said, we talked a lot about their defense. The the run defense going, leaving that Triton scrimmage, because Triton was really able to move the ball on them, and we thought, me and Anthony thought that might be the case this week as far as Hopkins, going into that new that wing T offense. But Midway, they did an outstanding job shutting that down. Like I said, man, pitched the shutout. So uh, definitely got to give a shout out to them. They came into that week last week, and I guess they made the adjustments, and so that's one thing to look out for. Like I said, it's gonna be a great game, man. I feel like it's gonna be one of the more better games this week. As far as who wins, who loses, man, it's gonna come down to like I said, I think both offenses uh, are gonna be able to put up points. I think it's gonna come down to whose defense could stand up and make stop. Of course, the little things, how big did special teams play a part in Clinton's win over Lakewood last week. So you got to look at that. Of course, turnovers, penalties. Like I said, for Clinton's offensive line, got to clean up some of those penalties, because, like I said, wiping out big plays, man, that's momentum lost, and yeah, that's the kind of thing you don't want to have, especially in a game that could be pretty competitive. But um, man, if I had to give a pick right now, man, of course I'm not picking against the dark horses again, because I caught my fair share of strays last week, and I ain't looking for no more smoke, man. So I ain't picking against Clinton. If I had to pick right now, I'll say 28-21 Clinton. Um, now, like I said, I feel like it's a competitive game. It could go either way, man. But I'm gonna roll with Clinton in the home opener. If they keep that same type of energy defensively, especially defensively as they had last week, um, yeah, I definitely can see with now you got your quarterback back. Now you get to open up that offense, and you get those those outstanding athletes in space, and yeah. So I'm gonna roll with Clinton this week. Also want to note that this for that Clinton game, like I said, it's the home opener, and they'll be dedicating the Dale P. Johnson Athletic Complex. That's going to be something they'll be doing probably pregame. So that's going to be a big deal. If you're a longtime Clinton fan or player, you know who Dale Johnson is, how much he meant to the program, and all the things he did, making sure that us athletes had what we needed. And just really just did a lot for that, for the school and the program is. So that's going to be a pretty big deal. So definitely make it, if you can make your way out there, and also let me remind folks about that First and Goal Foundation that Clinton started. Former player Jarris McPhail and Clark Hales are starting that. Like I said, they're asking for donations from former players. I got a post on the page. I'll reshare that post so people could see what I'm talking about. But just making sure that the football program is self sufficient, and the rising cost of everything. Making sure everybody, all the players, have what they need. Make sure that's taken care of, and I think that's really a really good idea. Like I said, man, a football program with the alumni network that we have and the following that we have, it should be self sufficient, and you also it's a lot of perks that come with it. They're going to anybody that donates. They'll have like a banner on the field house with your name, and you also get little special invites to different events throughout the year. Like this Friday night, I believe if you're already a member, there's going to be you get a special seating section in the end zone, and they said a special guest is going to be there as well. So I'm not sure exactly who, but just something for any Clinton alumni, fans, parents, and former players to check out. But any other comments on Midway versus Clinton? I'm not seeing anything on Instagram. All right, we'll keep on moving on. I guess we lost. We have. I got happy. We had Magic for a second, and I guess we lost him again. But still not haven't heard anything from Goodman. So we'll keep it moving. Real quick comments. Yeah, Logan Dawson said Midway blew out Hop to 35-0. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's like I said, great defensive performance coming off uh, kind of a disappointing effort in the Jamboree. Ooh, excuse me. Tyrone Stewart said Nate True Miles. Yes, sir. Like I said, one of the fastest in the county. Like I said, you get him in open space, man. He's a problem. Let's see anything else? Charles Williams said that Scotland Richmond game is going to be exciting. Yes, sir. We're going to get to that one. Moving on, my next game got North Duplin taking on Rosewood. These two used to be members of the Carolina 1A conference together. Of course, that's switched up now. So they're playing in non-conference play. Rosewood took a tough L to a really good CB Acock team last week, I believe it was. And North Duplin soundly defeated Southside. As far as this game goes, man, I'm going with North Duplin. Like I said, they got a really good balanced attack rushing wise this year. It seems like it. Uh, in the picture you see him, man, Carell Phillips. He's one of the best in the area. Of course, they got the big man Trayshawn Ruffin, on the D line. Yeah, I'm taking North Duplin on that one. And I don't know. I don't think we have too many North Duplin fans active right now, but I'm sure they'll come around later on in the season when things start to get a little bit heated. But I'm gonna go with North Duplin on that one. This next one, talk about Trash Titans taking the trip to the swamp, take on East Columbus. Uh, Let me see. Hold on, man. AG just hit me up. I think he's on the way. So just keep on going. Trash taking on East Columbus in the swamp. East Columbus is one of those teams that's you know we talk about just struggled mightily over the last seems like for years now. Just really haven't been able to build up that football program. So it's always been a work in progress up there. And a good, I guess you would say, a good get right type week for Trash. I know they said they got a young team. They got a lot of things they want to clean up, and this is one of those type of games that you're able to do that type of stuff in right here. Um, like I said, clean up those little mistakes that you had last week against East Bladen. Like you said, you're taking on an inferior opponent, so um, be able to get a lot of guys playing time, a lot of reps for and like I said, just work on that stuff, man. Work on this. Is like I said, it's a good week to work on all that stuff in live action. So I'll be rolling with Trask in this one, man. Like I said, they played a tough game against East Bladen. Like I said, they just made a lot of mistakes. And like I said, they got some youth and some guys. They had some guys out as well. So I'm sure you'll see a much better effort from them going forward. Let me give a shout out to Jordan Ward. He's always been a big supporter of the podcast and shared a lot of information with us. So yeah, I'll take Trask on this one, getting right. Another team that's has a chance to get right this week had a rough week last week. Lakewood Leopards. Lakewood Leopards traveling and take on Camp Lejeune, the Devil Pups. Same thing I said about Trash, man. This is a good week for Lakewood to clean up some things. We saw some things, especially special teams wise, where they could, like I said, this is the perfect game. We all saw, Lejeune in the Jamboree, and you could see that that's just not that they're definitely going to be a down team this year. So perfect week for Lakewood to really, clean some things up, work on some things, build some confidence with some kids through, once again, through live reps. Like I said, you're not, no disrespect to Lejeune, you're not treating this like a scrimmage or anything, but you see you're playing an inferior opponent. So this is a chance to really clean some things up and really work on some stuff, especially like I said, defense solid as ever last week. They just got put into some really really bad situations due to just poor special teams play and some lackluster play on offense. But got like I said, you got to give credit to Clint for doing having a part in that as well. But yeah, just work clean some things up on the offensive line, offense, get some establish some rhythm, a little bit more chemistry. Like I said, I believe the coach was saying are breaking in a lot of newer kids there. So they'll perfect, like I said, the perfect week to get right. So I got Lakewood winning big over Lejeune. Shouldn't have no issues here, and get ready for a big time game next week. But any comments on Lakewood Lejeune? Lakewood Lejeune, any comments? I said we'll keep it moving, keep it moving. So I know this one. Wake those Wallace Rose Hill fans up, man. Wallace coming off a disappointing. Well, actually, you could kind of say both teams are probably a little disappointed with how Week 1 ended for them. Both of them walking away with a loss. Wallace getting shut out like I said, for the first time in 17 years. Um, 226 games, I believe it was. So they're looking, like I said, defensively. Heard that the effort was there, especially in the second half. Just really like we could talk about the same thing with like Lakewood. Just really struggled offensively. Really could never establish a rhythm. Had some turnovers. So I don't know if this is the week that, unfortunately, unlike Lakewood and Trask, they don't exactly got a easy opponent this week. Having to take on Kinston. Of course, Kinston, a team that had a lot of talk, a lot of hype going into the season. Fell to a tough opponent, South Central. Close game. Lose the game in the final minutes there, 21-19. Offensively, you saw their key guys putting up numbers. We said had some turnovers. That's which, like I said, you want to clean that stuff up. But uh, yeah, definitely a tough one for Wallace. Definitely could be staring 0-2 in the face. But if we got any comments, any Wallace Rose Hill fans that have any more, deeper observations or insights, please feel free to comment. Um, like I said, they're just a tough situation there right now. Let me see real quick. Am I still live? Am I still live? If anyone can tell me if I'm still live, because I'm not getting the feed on my phone. I apologize. I have a couple technical difficulties. If anyone could comment real quick, to let me know if I'm still live. That's crazy. I'm still live on YouTube. I think I lost my. I think I lost it on Facebook. Everybody, stand by, man. I'm gonna go off and come back on